Okay, guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Wrestleslam, the podcast brought to you by Manscaped.com and the Macau Casino, Cork City. As usual, the three amigos are here and we are in full effect. I'm joined by the one and only Mr. Philip Connolly and the one and only Mr. Matt Murphy. And we bring you another fresh episode of Wrestleslam, the podcast recorded here in Cork to the people of the world, the wrestling universe, and the wrestling community. So guys, we're going to touch base. We're going to stay local. First of all, RCW will be this week. It will be Saturday, September 9th at the Kino Cork. And of course, it will be the last Kino Cork for a while, as they will be moving to the pavilion for the next two shows. There's a lot of stuff happening in regards to Rebel County Wrestling. Yet again, don't forget, guys, there's still a few tickets left at eventbrite.ie. It's RCW Presents Let's Go to Work. And it's going to be unreal. So there's a lot of matches, guys, and I'm going to go through a couple of them quickly. Mr. Charlie versus the Sem. That is going to be a great match. And, you know, these guys are absolute characters, you know what I mean? Fan favorites in the world of Irish wrestling. There's also a number one contenders match. It's chained to the pole elimination. Owen Richards versus CBL versus Steve Carville versus Fabio versus Martin Stirs versus ... Is it Matt Murphy? You will have to be there this Saturday to find out if Matt Murphy is going to be the man that enters that number one contenders match and to earn a shot at the championship. Rumors to be it is someone from the Wrestleslam team, so guys, you're going to just have to stay tuned to see what happens there. Let's Go to Work also presents the RCW Tag Team Championship match. PB&J versus the State Paramounts. Versus the Bearded Beauties versus a tag team to be named. Now, Phil and Matt, can we get your predictions on who that tag team might be?
I just want to clarify one thing. I know it's ... but you know, never say never. If it's me, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to go. What's the date again, Jerry? It's on
September 9th.
Oh, my sister's wedding's the next week, lads. I can't do it, lads.
Thank you, heart.
Sorry, Phil, Jerry has to step in. Sorry. There's always next time, lads. What can I say? So I was so pumped and everything, But let's move on to the tag team. So,
who's going to be the tag team, Matt? Who do you reckon it is? If it's not us, who is it going to be?
I never know if it's going to be us. But you know what? I think I'm just going to flat out say you have to go with the Bearded Beauties on this one. The local, the fan favorite, Butch Armstrong. He's been part of the Cork team for so long. I would just be delighted to see them actually pick up the win. I want them to walk away. I say walk away Cork because I think they're based in Cork, but Bearded Beauties all the way, lads. Give me some.
And and Phil, who do you reckon that mystery tag team could be?
Very hard to play. I'm trying to get my head around. I don't know. I really genuinely don't know. Do you know what? I love surprises.
Saviors.
Yeah, I really hope so. I really do. But I think they're in a match already. But
Owen Richards is in a match. Yeah.
So very hard to predict. I was trying to go through. I was like, who's there? I was like, yeah, it's tricky. I'd like to see someone new.
But listen, the saviors like Owen Richards, you know what I mean, Andy, Anita, they're genetic freaks. They can have 6 matches. So who knows? Will the saviors be the ones that enter as the mystery tag team,
or will it be Session Matt Martina and a mystery partner?
Interesting. It remains to be seen.
If it is the saviors, then all we can say is, can you feel it?
I love it. Speaking of the saviors, guys, Anita Vaughn versus Katie Harvey. That match will be epic. That will take place yet again this Saturday as well, September 9th. The Kino Cork City doors open at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now, eventbrite.ie. RCW presents Dogs. Let's Go to Work. It is going to be epic, guys, and make sure you grab your tickets. Also, another big match announced, and the match that the world is looking forward to seeing, LJ Clary versus Mark Andrews, the RCW Championship, yet again September 9th, this Saturday. This is a match that everyone wants to see, everyone's talking about. LJ versus Mark Andrews, guys. Phil, what's your take on this match? When it was announced, it was groundbreaking.
It's going to be stellar. This is going to be one of the matches of the year in the Irish scene. Mark Andrews is just, every time you see him, he's magic. He's still kind of part of Impact, so he's kind of it's really cool to see him on TV and then see him live in the Kino Cork. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like looking forward to seeing the match, and the match will be great.
Yeah, will be.
LJ put up a post saying something like 4 or 5 countries, 9 flights in the last 10 days.
The life of an MVP. The
Yeah,
life of an MVP.
next stop Cork, he said. So here we go.
Yes,
But
man,
yeah,
it's
no,
all
it'll be
Ireland.
cracking. It'll be really, really good.
Matt Murphy, I know you're a big LJ fan. I know you're a big Mark Andrews fan. You know, thoughts on the match. Obviously, when we got the groundbreaking news officially on Wrestleslam that it was going to happen, it was groundbreaking. But look, listen, what is your thoughts on this match? And obviously, you're going to be looking forward to being front row in the mix with all the fans, the audience, and it's going to be grueling.
Yeah, I'm actually not gonna lie. Next to what's in the box shot and what's in the bag the same. I think I'm very looking forward for this one match because Mark Andrews been a fan of him for so long, been following him for his work for so long. LJ Cleary, at this rate, every time we see him in the ring, lads, you know something amazing is gonna happen. And you know, I'm still having the back of my mind that about the famous post that LJ said that he's ready to move on. That's still really back in my head, but at this point, I can't really say who I want to pick for this one. I know it's gonna be flip heads, but I'm just looking forward to see what kind of matches it's gonna be. I'm still going for LJ. I'm still going for LJ at this point. Want to see him actually pick up the win. He's a man. He's living a beautiful life. But I'm buzzing to see it, lads. And everyone watching this should be buzzing to see it by going to the Kino this Saturday. Let's get it work, lads.
September 9th, yet again, this Saturday, the Kino. Cork City, in the heart of Cork City. RCW return for a massive show. And guys, get your tickets ASAP, eventbrite.ie. All the info will be on this video. And of course, go to Rebel County Wrestling for all the info on the card as well. Also, RCW's very own Billy Bellum was on the big red bench with Rory O'Hagan. And it was great. Listen, Rory and Red FM are great, you know what I mean? Great people to promote RCW and wrestling in general for many years in Cork. So the hype is there. You know it's the real deal when it's, you've got the likes of Billy at Red FM talking about this. It's a show everyone is talking about. So get the limited tickets now at eventbrite.ie. Guys, I'm going to go to All Out, and it was last night, and it was fairly epic. Phil, I'm gonna let you
ridiculous
talk about some key moments of this. So for you, what stood out first of all? I think it was a 13 matches, but look, pinpoint for you what stood out first of all. What moments, you know what I mean, in a nutshell that we need to break down, and what was it like for you?
The big thing, I suppose, Ricky Starks is a megastar. That match was absolutely incredible. They just whooped each other so hard. Like if Dave Meltzer doesn't rate this match ridiculously high, then the guy clearly doesn't in his own world. But that stood out to me. The main event, Moxley annihilated Cassidy. And actually absolutely smashed him, battered him, and it's one of the rare matches that Moxley wasn't bust open.
And that was I think it was a 20-minute match. Like that's telling you how brutal it was for Orange Cassidy. Like,
but the good news is for Irish fans, Moxley is now the new international champion, so he will have it when he comes to OTT.
And speaking of OTT and John Moxley, it has been announced, guys, as you know, that Be Cool will be the opponent.
That didn't go down particularly brilliant. People were expecting Big Demo. People were expecting. I saw a lot of comments on Twitter, and this is no fault to Be Cool because we've met him and he's a great guy. But
he's epic, yeah.
People wanted. Then people were like, "I don't know who this guy is," which is really, really sad to see.
I suppose they're how can I pronounce it? Look, there's no such thing as a plastic fan, but I suppose you have the people that have been to every OTT show for the last 8-9 years, and then I suppose
when John Moxley comes out,
you bring a big name, and then someone new will come along just to see the Moxley. But yeah, look, Be Cool is a guy that we know very well. Fabulous in the tag team. I think this could be a big chance for Be Cool. I think it's something good.
Well,
going into one of the big matches.
He fought Orange Cassidy a few years back.
4 years ago, yeah.
So like the man is really, really talented. It's just again people were expecting the LJs and the big demos, and I think it was just kind of like taken off guard, like because no one was expecting that to be the match.
Yeah, no, I agree. It just remains to be seen now what lies ahead, but this show will be incredible. And yet again, guys, Wrestleslam will be in the house. And of course, we will be at Impact Wrestling as well in the UK, where we can expect interviews and a lot more. The vlogs are always important, but Wrestleslam will be in the UK for Impact Wrestling, I'm glad to say. So do stay tuned for all the info with that. And of course, we will be at OTT to see Moxley. And, Phil, do you want to quickly announce who else was announced?
Go to sleep. Not CM Punk.
Yeah.
No, Kenta is also coming to the same tour that Moxley will be on. I've always wanted to see Kenta live, so I'm pretty stoked.
You're buzzing. Matt Murphy, you're going to be in attendance at OTT as well, and also you will be in the UK for Impact. But look, Kenta and Moxley at OTT, look, that's big.
That's really big. Like, that's really big. Of course, Moxley will always be the draw at this show, but Kenta has always been. He's always been underused. If I'm going to be honest, lads, I'm still gutted how he was portrayed in WWE. He went back to New Japan. He actually built himself up as he once was. Same with brief time in AEW. He's also a big name, and can't wait to go see him. I'm looking forward to see who he's going to put to sleep. I was actually going to say that, was like, and guess who else is going to be at OTT? Myself and Philly. Me and Matt.
Yes, boys. Yes, boys. So the boys are on tour, guys. And yet again, look, in regards to Impact UK and OTT, we will be there. We've got you covered. So stay tuned for all the info on that and more. Back to All Out, Phil and Matt. We're going to talk more matches. So, obviously, look, there was a few turning points. I'll be honest, I didn't stay up and watch it. Just giving about
it was one of the rare ones that I did because I was doing nothing until afternoon today.
Yeah, there was a lot happening. Obviously,
there was a moment that happened that I thought was genius and hot quality with MJF. I don't know if you've seen that little clip.
Is this that he got a big massive push?
Yeah, when he was leaving the arena, Samoa Joe was coming out for his match and kind of shoved him, like NXT days. It was quite hilarious.
I saw that. For those of you that probably don't recognize the meme, it was just MJF was in developmental in WWE, so he had to be one of the security guards to make Samoa Joe look tough. He got into Samoa Joe's camera shot, and Samoa Joe pushed him. And that was a bit of a throwback to that night. So I was like, he remembers, he knows.
Yeah. They're setting up the match now today. I'm going to see Samoa Joe and MJF. That's got to happen, surely.
And the thing is, they're after adding another pay-per-view, Wrestle Dream.
I like the name. I do like the name. I know it's cheesy, but I like it.
Well, it's to do with New Japan and Antonio Inoki and tribute shows and stuff like that. So
I'm all for that.
I got the wrong idea. I thought you said Wrestleslam, and I was like, that means we're up by 1,000 quid. If that's the case.
Yeah, I know, definitely. But obviously, Samoa Joe defeated Shane Taylor by submission. Better than your baby. Adam Cole and MJF defeated the Dark Order to reclaim and retain their Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. Hangman Page won the last eliminating over the budget charity battle royal. Obviously he eliminated Brian Cage. What was your thoughts on that? The battle royal?
Standard. I think they wanted to do this last week in the UK, but it was just too much hassle.
Any surprises in that one, Phil?
Not really.
Really.
It was on for those, it was on the 0 or so. It wasn't on the pay-per-view, so it wasn't actually seen by that many people. Because I don't know. I just don't know why it wasn't on the show. Maybe they just had too many matches.
Yeah, completely understand. Bryan Danielson defeated Ricky Starks, and Phil Connolly, the man himself, says ridiculous. Ricky Starks is easily, the sensation, the future. Only at 33 years old, this guy is the next big thing, and he's definitely a future all elite, world champion. There's no doubt.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. If anyone not seen this, go watch it. It's ridiculous. There was one where Brian absolutely battered him with the strap, and I genuinely thought that he was going to kill him. He hit him so hard. He hit him so hard, yeah.
He earned his keep that night. There's no doubt about it. I'm a big fan of Ricky Starks. especially the last couple of months. Prior to that, I think he was wrestling for. I think the early days he was doing stuff with the National Wrestling Alliance, and then obviously
He
joined
was with
All Elite.
WWE as well.
Yeah, what was his role there? I think he was it was NXT, was it?
Very old, very early days.
Yeah, he was obviously back. I think he was in a backstage segment as well, wasn't he? With Ryback, he was slammed through a table. So that's vaguely where I remember. And obviously, I think there was an episode where Reigns attacked him as well.
Yeah.
He was a U.S. Marshal or something. But
Yeah.
I think he's definitely the future. Still quite young, you know, a New Orleans man.
It's like every time I see when they're doing a statement, there was a bunch of security guards or random extras somewhere. I always said everyone was like, keep an eye on one of those security guards because one of them is going to be a future big name wrestling champion or goes far. So that's it.
Definitely.
You know, the biggest shock of the whole night was Kenny Omega being pinned clean.
I was definitely. I think
he lost. Like he lost with no. It wasn't a screw job. I know he tried to interfere, but he didn't interfere in the end. He pinned him clean. Omega's
I suppose
like
it was a long match. You know what I mean? But yeah, he was pinned.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I've never seen a pay-per-view like this where it was just good match. Because you know the way you always get like good and then it kind of be okay and then it kind of comes back up and down. But this just going and just never seen anything like it.
But how do you pronounce it? It's Takeshita, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's one of the biggest stars in Japan, like.
Yeah. The only thing that bugged me was the through this whole pay-per-view was the Young Bucks doing that CM Punk victory. Like why are they trying to achieve by doing this CM Punk victory lap around?
I don't know. It's bollocks,
so
you know what I mean?
Like, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd say that wasn't even scripted. I'd say they'd just done it, you know?
Yeah. So stupid.
I'd say they'd just done it, to be honest. You know what I mean?
No, he's gone now.
Yeah. I'm surprised we didn't mention that at the start of the show, but look, we can go into it right now because look, we're obviously at All Elite Wrestling right now. Phil and Matt, I'm going to go to you first, right? CM Punk has crossed the lines. There's a few stories out coming out about William Regal and this and that, right? And if he's refused to shake William Regal's hand and not respect Regal, I think that doesn't stand.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So, but thoughts on Punk being sacked first of all? You're not surprised, yeah?
Yeah, so I just literally found out half an hour before we started recording about me finding out about William Regal. So I was prepared of what to say. First things first, I'll just say about after what happened over the London backstage incident. I can kind of agree why they had to suspend CM Punk. It's like if you're gonna cop on like that backstage and if you're just gonna think you're gonna run everything, shove everyone, it just have a standard conversation. The last thing you want is to toss fists. But also then again, I'm thinking that Punk is probably one of the biggest draws in professional wrestling. So I can understand why wrestling fans like myself included got odd at Tony Khan about this. Maybe they should have done a 3 strikes you're out type of deal. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's what they want to do at the end of the day. But just have Punk I'm trying not to see Punk as Punk. I'm just trying to think of him as just a random fella on shit backstage. So I was kind of 50-50 on that. I'm still a Punk fan. But when I heard about the story about William Regal now, lads, I've always been a William Regal fan. Blackpool Combat Club is one of my favorite wrestling stables at the moment. And he's always known as the wrestling dad, if that makes viral. So if that is true about him refusing being William Regal's, not shaking his hand, saying that he's Triple H's stooge, was it?
Yeah.
If that's the case, I'm like, oh, Punk, you just kind of lost my respect, because I respect William Regal. We all respect William Regal, but just because Regal did straight up admit that he's a WWE guy. He wanted to retire in WWE. It was so surprised everyone that he got suspended. So if that's the case, then we're not going to see CM Punk in WWE anytime soon, lads. So we don't know what's next for Punk. Is he going to be doing interviews on ESPN? Is he going to have a second attempt on his MMA career? We don't know.
I hope not.
I think he's too old for his UFC run.
He might get a YouTube fight,
Yeah, he might get a Jake Paul fight.
Yeah. I know this, I always say this. would you rule out Phil and Matt CM Punk appearing at OTT?
No, I
I
wouldn't.
mean,
No.
you just got that idea in my head. I would like to see CM Punk at OTT. It'll get people talking, even as a surprise appearance. Joe, if you're watching this, we're not like putting pressure on you, but don't worry about that. But I think you know, I'm not going to be entirely invested with it, with all the talks about CM Punk. But never say never, lads. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah. No, I think it could easily happen. I think the problem is what's next for him is the statement that he's going to release.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued to see this because this is make or break.
Yeah.
What he says and whatever he says in this new thing will what's the word I'm looking for? Will almost like
will reflect on how his career is
yeah,
going to go.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if he comes out and says, "Oh, this is about Tony Khan and Tony Khan's this, and it's like that doesn't look good, like.
Yeah. Well, I hope. Like, I think at this moment in time, CM Punk was enjoying the comeback. First of all, I'd love to see him do it. Yeah, I'd love to see. I'd love to see him doing a European tour. I'd love to see him do a lot of indie shows. Maybe go to New Japan. Now I know they have a good relationship with All Elite, but yeah, I'd love to see Punk. Punk at OTT, Punk at at RCW. Punk at Hard Knocks. Imagine him doing an Irish tour and he's here for a week or two doing meet and greets, and appearance, and then at our indie shows in Ireland. That'd be sick. But you know what I mean? Who knows what's going to happen? And it remains to be seen. But I reckon an official statement is incoming fast.
But it's what I was thinking about today. It's like when you fall out of like say 5, 6, 7 places. Like, when does it become the problem is you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't fall out with like 6 different companies and all the time.
Yeah, it comes down to one thing: is that if he wants to wrestle or not. If he wants to wrestle,
all the money in the world. So yeah, it does. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if he wants to wrestle, and he will, and where will he go is the question. Can Impact offer him money? I'd say so. Will he be in New Japan? I think so. Will he do something similar to Moxley in the sense of travel around the world and headline shows in the UK, in Ireland? I think so. So I'd say that is what will happen. I think fans will be happy to see Punk in Ireland.
I think you can headline an indie show in the UK with Punk versus Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. You know what I mean? Even in a national stadium, I think that would be something that would be epic.
Yeah.
Even the Neptune Stadium Cork is something that we could see. Punk and Neptune Cork. Will it sell out? I believe so. Especially in the next 12 months because the name is so hot and it's a big take.
If that's the case, ticket sales, the system's going to crash. If that's the case,
well, that's what people want. When a promoter has of something crashing, it is good. It is good. It's bad for us on the other end trying to get a Moxley ticket. It's like that time we tried to get Moxley the first time, and I was in Edinburgh having a shit attack. Phil got his, told me hang in there. Yeah. I think I logged back in at 5 a.m. and managed to get a Moxley ticket. And I've met Moxley before in the airport, but it just happened to be I wanted to see him in Dublin, and so it's good.
You told me to notice was this when he was still Dean Ambrose, just transforming into Moxley?
This was the last day he was Dean Ambrose. So WrestleMania 35 in New York. Me and Phil were departed New York.
Yeah,
we literally arrived through the front door. Phil looked, I was gone. Phil didn't know where I was gone. Yeah. I came back shaking like a leaf. Phil, I just met Dean Ambrose. He's like, what? Yeah. I just met Dean Ambrose. He's over there in the shop.
Getting a lollipop or something like that.
I met him. Yeah, I met him on the way over to the shop. So I just asked him for a quick selfie. He's like, yeah, sure, man.
Lads, be thankful that it was Dean Ambrose at the time, because Dean Ambrose would say, yeah, sure, man, no boys. If it was John Moxley, he'll probably like stab you with like an ice pick or something like that, and then DDT and just like walk away.
I would take a DDT off Moxley any day. I'm just putting it out there. I take a kicking the balls off anyone. And I take an ankle lock off Ken Shamrock. I take a stunner from Austin. So I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
To me, that would be a compliment, guys. To me, that would be a compliment. If Mankind, Mick Foley give me the Socko, that's a compliment. That's something I'd be up to. Jeff Jarrett give me a guitar through the head. I would love it. So Yeah, All Out, guys, massive success, and I think Phil Connolly, our very own, has given it a 5-star review, so that is good. And we have to quickly mention Payback 2023, which was Saturday night, which was 2 days ago, but Saturday and Sunday morning in Ireland. So we need to talk, first of all, some of the matches. There's new champions. The Judgment Day defeated Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to win the undisputed tag team titles. Obviously, Rey Mysterio defeated Austin Theory to win the United States title match. LA Knight defeated The Miz with John Cena as special guest referee, and this nice little camo at the end with LA Knight and John Cena. A bit of respect there. Trish Stratus lost to Becky Lynch in the steel cage match. Cody Rhodes revealed on the Grayson Waller effect that Jey Uso is now a Raw roster member. Rhea Ripley defeated Raquel Rodriguez to retain her women's world title. And Seth freaking Rollins defeated Nakamura. And afterwards, obviously, Nakamura attacked him. So I reckon that's setting up a second match. And I honestly believe that Shinsuke will win that title very soon.
Fastlane, I think, is it? Fastlane?
Yeah, I think he's going to win it. And I think it's a good move for him to win that belt. I really like this dark side of him at the moment.
This show, I can't. I don't know what it was. I thought it was okay, and it should have been better than okay.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same with Phil when he watching All Out. I was in y'all at the time, and I forgot that Payback was on, and I wasn't pushed. I just thought I don't have anything major going on the next day. I'm just stay up and watch some Payback. And yeah, I think because I had low expectations, I thought it was actually a pretty great pay-per-view. Oh no, that's me saying it loud. I thought I liked all the matches. I'm like Phil, I'm not going to give it praise as in like it was probably the best pay-per-view of this year, but it was a good watch. I enjoyed a bit of it. I felt like it was a bit predictable because I kind of had a feeling that Judgment Day was going to win because they're on the poster. They're going to do a storyline with Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Same with Seth Rollins winning. I love Shinsuke, but I couldn't see him winning the world title as of yet. Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley. Again, I thought of Judgment Day wins the tag titles. That means Rhea Ripley's going to clearly win. They're going to hold all the gold. So, but it was a good pay-per-view, like Phil says.
Yeah, and like did you stay for the whole lot, Matt? Yeah, because I know I seen in the group chat at around 12:30 you put out the message, and I was like, oh, will I stay up? And then I was like, I've got to go to work. So it was overall, was it one of the best? Because like I reflect on the old days. I reflect on being a kid, being a teenager, up to maybe for me, I kind of switched off around the age of 16, 17 in a sense of staying up, but every pay-per-view back in the 90s and all these guys was fucking incredible. I think everyone, there was never really a bad pay-per-view back then. Now it's going to hit and miss, but like, you know what I mean? I think this Payback one deserves an acknowledgement.
Yeah.
It deserves an acknowledgement, I think.
Yeah,
it might be overlooked for the but I thought it definitely does.
Yeah. I think as well, like just on the Trish and Becky, I think Trish is done now with WWE.
The comeback was decent, though. I know there wasn't a lot, but I think the comeback was decent. She looked the part. She looked great. You know what I mean? The whole Becky feud.
Yeah.
I did like it. You know what I mean? I think Becky was absolutely honored to share the ring with Trish again.
Yeah. The match was good. The match was good. I was very surprised it was first.
Yeah, me too. But it was a good start to the match. Good pop.
I think where Becky Lynch is fighting Tiffany Stratton, is she? That could be interesting.
Yeah, I think so. I think Tiffany's the one for the future. But yeah, that's the way it looks. It's like the women's division, first of all, is all over the shop at the moment, isn't it?
In both companies it is. Yeah. I just think there's not enough care given to what they do on the shows.
Yeah. Would you be all for a new organization with just women? Like, say, would you take
there is Stardom, and there is the one that Becky Lynch was in years ago. I know what you mean. Like, it's just all women.
Yeah, say you have, All Elite, WWE, and have WW something. You know what I mean? Would that be?
What was there's Glow as well in the 80s. All that stuff was brilliant. Like, all that stuff is cool. Like, I think the only way you can kind of do it these days is sort of like tape shows. I don't think you can do full on. Oh, here we are, we're live, or this, or that. You need a fan base.
Yeah, no, I completely understand.
But I do think there is a market for it if it's done right.
Yeah,
Look at Ronda Rousey. Like, look how big a star she She was in about 5 years ago.
Will she ever make that return? God only knows. I know
Rumor is
she's
now that she
heavily linked to UFC. Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to go back for the 300
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
which is next
Yeah.
year, I think.
Yeah, I think she will. I think Ronda is just box
There's two of
office no
them,
matter
Brock.
what.
They want Brock as well.
Yeah, Brock has to. Brock seems in a good place at the moment, though, doesn't he? He really does. Like he's really enjoying life. Said it's only a matter of time before we see Brock's daughter and his son.
There's things like Brock singing in that concert you've never seen before.
Yeah, I love him. He's I think he's a great guy. I think
please.
Yeah, I don't think Brock was ever a dickhead. You know, you hear stories that you shouldn't approach.
I
understand that. I understand that.
He's anti-social. I just think he's anti-social.
Yeah, he said this on the Austin podcast. He actually straight up says that he famously said he doesn't like people. I don't know if that was his character, but he just rather just be left alone, which is kind of understandable from someone who suffered from social anxiety. I think we all experienced that.
Yeah.
He'd be very vocal for that. Like, so he wasn't being a dickhead. That's like, if you see a famous actor like on the street and they're with friends, and if you say, "Oh, can I get a photo with you?" They said, "No, I'd rather have a go with my friends." Doesn't mean they're an automatic dickhead. Doesn't mean that they're cruel. They just want to be left alone. So don't think of that about Brock. Like,
yeah, exactly. No, definitely. Right, guys, that is our 30+ minutes wrapped up in one show. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in every week. It's a consistent show, and yet again, last week's show has done, I think, over 400 or 500 views. So thank you very much to all of you 400+ that have tuned in. The week before that, we deleted the show, or something happened to the show, and we uploaded it again. And thank you to everyone that tuned back into that show, because everyone was looking for it. And yet again, guys, look, RCW this Saturday. The lowdown will be, we'll grab a couple of interviews as always. We'll get a vlog. Wrestleslam will be in the house, so make sure you come over and say hello. And yet again, we will be at Impact in the UK, and we will be at OTT in Dublin, obviously in October as well. So do stay tuned for all the info. But get your tickets right now for RCW Eventbrite.ie, the King of Cork, this Saturday night. Doors 7 p.m. The lineup is incredible. Headlined by LJ Clary versus Mark Andrews. So until then, we'll see you guys on Saturday night. We're looking forward to it. From myself, Jerry Collin, from the one and only Philip Conley, and from the one and only Matt Murphy. Adios, and Wrestle Community, Wrestle Universe. We will catch you next week. This is Wrestleslam, the podcast. Thank you for tuning our way.